What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Nick and Xavier. And today, guys, we are going over UFC at the White House, UFC 250 Freedom. The event was sick. I think it totally lived up to the hype, the productions, the fights. All seven fights were really good. We got a lot to talk about, but we're going to start a little different here. We're going to start with the first fight of the night, Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Great back and forth. I think Garcia was in control like slightly for most of the fight, but once like they bit down on the mouthpiece, once it was time to fight, Lopez just had the bigger guns, put him away. What did you guys think about the opener?
I mean, I think you kind of summed it up perfectly. I mean, Steve Garcia was really touching him up and really landing some bombs on him, had him a little like shaky at a couple times. Like never like rocked him overly bad where like it was like go for the finish time, but like clearly was stinging him and making him rethink some shit. You know what I mean? Garcia has fucking dynamite in his hands and like clearly, like that chin of Lopez is like, gotta be in the S tier. He has an S tier chin, man. The man can eat a shot like no other. And even though he's got buzzed by Garcia, got buzzed by Gene Silva a couple times, like that chin still just has been holding up, like ultimately. Um, I thought that like it was clear that like when they were being technical, uh Lopez was a little outgunned. Um, and I think that that's gonna honestly be the trend for most of his career, honestly. I think that once his chin kind of goes, I could see him having like one of those drastic fall offs, unless he like, improves his skills enough to like bridge that gap a little bit. He is very chin reliant and he is reliant on like getting in the blend, getting in the mix and like eating a shot to give a bigger one. And I think that like you said, Ed, when it came time to bite down on the mouthpiece and throw leather, like that's when he thrived in the chaos. He had to make the fight a little chaotic and eat a couple shots to, give a couple. And, you know, once you start touching that Garcia chin, like I thought that Garcia did a little bit decent to try and recover after he was clipped, but like the onslaught was on. And I mean, like Lopez, if he once he smells that blood in the water, he will swarm and like got him out of there, man. Hell of a win.
I think that's what makes Lopez so great when he gets into these wars and he comes out on top because his chin is so good. So he just keeps swinging. And when he decided to do that in this fight, he won. You know, the main reason I picked him because I have seen Garcia get chin before. I don't think he just wasn't going to outdog Lopez, I thought. But early on, like I was seeing too much of the Lopez versus Volk fight, just kind of waiting around. Just I feel like he can't be good at this like counter striker type of game. Like I just don't think that's who he is. And every time now, just go out there and create chaos. Because that's where you have won these fights, basically. I wish he wrestled more. I mean, I think he attempted maybe one shot that was terrible. Like it was the first minute, it was like some lazy like single leg that wasn't close. I thought Garcia low key was piecing him up early, to be honest. I thought the distance control was great from Garcia. He was just timing very well when Lopez would try to go in, back up, and then come in with a 1-2, just anything. I was loving the body kicks. And he was just like, it really looked like a lot of this fight, Lopez had no answer. But it's like, it's simple here, Lopez. You have a good chin, go in there and just beat him. Like, just scrap. And that's where we've seen his success. And that's why he won the fight, because he decided to, like, oh, I could win these kind of wars. Because I just haven't been doing that the entire time, basically. And he decided to finally go and get the TKO. Steve Garcia, that dude is good though. I will say.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, we'll touch a little bit more on the production and all of that of the White House at the end of the video. But to stick with the fights, yeah, Diego Lopez, I think you guys broke it down perfectly. What's next for a guy like Lopez? I hear the name Sterling floating around a lot out there. Sterling versus Lopez. Sterling was watching during his watch party, kind of teased it a little bit. How do you guys feel about that fight? Or do you have any other names for Lopez?
I mean, based on like how, you know, how good Sterling looked against Yusuf Zalal, I mean, I feel like why not run that? I mean, I think Diego Lopez knows at this point he's not going to get another crack at Volk. Um, he has to kind of just maintain his high contention status until someone else, gets the belt. And so like he's at a point where like Aljamain Sterling fight is like the best potential option for him, I would say. I think it's a matchup where even though Aljo does present like more grappling than I've seen him even use in his fights really. But I mean, I don't think he's that much of a threat on the feet. I think that Lopez has a significant power and, aggression advantage there and like Aljo's, on the wrong side of 35 too, it's like why not, beat Aljo, maintain your spot? Like that's a legendary fighter on your resume. Like I feel like that's a perfect fight for him.
I think there's multiple options. I mean, I've heard the name floated around Oliveira for the BMF, which I would not be opposed to, but I feel like for now, like Lopez is still doing well in the division. Like, and he doesn't look like he's getting destroyed by these weight cuts yet, really. I mean, I feel like the cardio has always been good. You know, I it would make sense for him, and I would be all here for it.
I don't hate that. The more I think about it.
But like, and we'll get it to when we talk about that great main event. But I don't know if they will give Armin the title shot. Just knowing Dana, I could just very much see them pinning him up against Oliveira because I think that would be the only fight to make there. So for Lopez, I would love to see him Leroy Murphy. I thought Leroy had a closer fight than Lopez did versus Murphy when they fought. And I'll be honest, I think that's a tough fight for Lopez. Murphy's not, I mean, he has one L, and it was the Mozart in a very close decision. I mean, clearly has a good chin as well. I think that's a great fight. Or Gene, I'd say running back with Gene. Like, if Gene's not getting this title shot, like,
I think that the next time Gene and him face off, it will be for a title shot. I think that that's like honestly Lopez's easiest path to a title shot again is if Gene gets it and then he like, well, I beat you before, so they have to run that. That's the
That's
that's
true.
that's the vision I'm seeing. Like that's his path back to a title, I think.
yeah, I can see Aljo too. I think they're gonna. I mean, is there a rumor Silva gonna fight Yair or?
That fight too. Fucking Lopez and Yair, they've been beefing. I feel like I love that fight too. But to answer your question, I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, I would even say like they might just do Aljo versus Yair.
I keep forgetting Yair's like in this top five. Like he just
Not fighting, bro. He's just not fighting. Like you need to fight someone to like get these rankings moving here. But
Mhm.
I think Lopez has multiple options here. I think you should say a featherweight though, personally.
man, Lopez has had such a crazy career in this short span of time. He was on 300, the Spear. Now he's in the White House. Seems like one of Dana White's favorite fighters. Super entertaining.
He's
Anything else on this fight, guys?
definitely one of the. He definitely has UFC privilege. Like he's always a hop and a skip away from a title shot, seemingly.
Yeah. No. Before we move on, though, what is next for Garcia? Pretty disappointing L here, but he was on a really nice win streak. He's still in the top 15, still super entertaining, so you can kind of put him anywhere. Who do you guys want to see him against?
Man, I thought that he looked really good out there, and I mean, at the end of the day. I mean, what's Diego Lopez ranked? Number two in the division? It's like
He's got 2 title shots.
he was literally whooping his ass for like until he wasn't. You know what I mean? Literally until he wasn't. There was really no point in the first round where I thought Diego Lopez had any amount of control over him. I thought he was kind of marching him down, making Diego Lopez fight off the back foot. Um, yeah, I just thought he looked really good in there. I think he still deserves like a high profile matchup next. I could see maybe giving him like shit, man. He's ranked 9. It would be crazy. I would say Gene Silva. Like I think Gene Silva deserves to, he still deserves to fight up. I mean, maybe Yair, like shit, make Yair defend his spot against him. I don't mind that.
Let me see.
Does Yair?
Um,
I don't think so.
what do you think, Clark?
Uh, you know,
Arnold Allen?
I like Arnold Allen because I think that's a good fight.
I'm
Because
th-
I
yeah.
think that's a scrap, to be honest. I think that's a 50-50 ball game that I would even say like Garcia is a live dog in there. I think with Garcia, I do think he's a little, and I'm not just saying this from this fight. I've seen him get chinned before. I do think he's a little like chinny if he loses a war battle. I think that'd be a war. Either him or I mean Zalal coming off an L, so I would just say book that.
That's fair.
It'd be crazy if they did him and Vallejos though. I can't even lie.
I was thinking that, but like I don't know if I want to sacrifice him.
I just think that because that's crazy. I just think that because he's like because he looks so good in there, like he still deserves to fight up in the ranks. Like
I feel that.
that was a big jump, but like, a more reasonable jump. Like I still say he deserves to fight up.
No, I fuck with that. I feel like he's gonna be in this top 10 for a minute.
Oh yeah,
And they might do Vallejos versus Silva, man. Ooh, the rematch.
That'd be such a fucking epic fight.
I think
Holy
they
shit.
ripping and slipping each other. Like, that's a crazy fight.
All right, guys, let's go to middleweight here. Bo Nickel defeats Kyle Dawkins in the first round via TKO. Yeah, very impressive performance here on the White House lawn. He needed this. That's 2 wins since that pretty bad RDRL. How much has he grown since then in your guys' eyes? And what did you think about his performance and Dawkins in general?
I mean I thought that like he looked good out there. Um, he kind of immediately got a takedown, which I've been kind of like missing that in his game. I think that like as he was coming up and fighting like lesser comp, I think he chose to fight in a way that was like kind of almost like using these people for development more than like just trying to take the path of least resistance, which is always going to be his wrestling. But as he, steps up in comp and like fights more dangerous guys, I like to see him, lean on that wrestling a lot more. It's gonna be what gets him as far as he's gonna get. Like his striking is definitely improving. Um, got a nice KO here, but at the end of the day, against the highest level guys, like there's no amount of time that I think he can bridge the gap to become one of the best strikers at middleweight. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he has that kind of time. The only way I see him, reaching as high as his potential will let him go is through his wrestling, his best trait. And I think that I like to see him use it early here and try to like, make his opponents a little bit less dangerous so maybe he can get his striking off or like, striking the wrestling. I think that that's like his best path forward. So I like the IQ I saw here. Obviously a nice KO for him against like a decent opponent. Like clearly like, maybe he's not. Maybe they just jump the gun by putting him in there with RDR, but like he's still like an ascending fighter, and I think that he's learning and still making progress. I like the way he bounced back.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty one-way traffic, I thought, for the entire fight. Bo got that nice takedown early. He was cutting him off with some bad elbows too, like opening him up. Uh, Dawkins was hanging on for a while though, for some reason. Not trying to really. He was just in full guard, and Bo just kind of took advantage of that. Controlled the whole first round. Herzog stood them up for no reason. Uh, I thought he was doing work and for no reason got stood up, but it led to a nice finish. I mean, basically just a straight jab down. Kyle Dawkins was done basically immediately, just covered up. And it's definitely a nice win for Bo. Like he looks more improved. I don't know if you do him against the top 15 next, but like looking at some of these bottom people at middleweight, I would not disagree in running one of them against him.
And who do you think that would be? Like, I feel like we're all
The lead,
thinking a certain. Yeah, we're
Delete,
all thinking a certain
Roman
name.
Dolce.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I think
Yeah, I think
like
that's perfect.
I think that Jared Cannonier would give him fits though right now.
Yeah, I
Like
was thinking Cannonier, but maybe it's one fight too early for that. So
yeah,
yeah, I like Delise here.
the lead perfect. He's like the only one you just know like isn't just gonna like strike him. You
So
know,
like with Bo Nickel, like what are we on track here for? Like what is your guys' outlook like 3 years down the line? Where is Bo Nickel or what has Bo Nickel done based on what you've seen?
I think that 3 years is like hard because I mean he is like a rapidly improving guy. So it's like because he came into this game late, like in terms of his overall skill set, I do think that he has the potential to make like drastic jumps from like in the striking department and like learning how to like use his cardio and like learning how to use his wrestling and shit. Um, so based on what I've seen, I could see him kind of peaking out around the, you know, Joe Pyfer kind of level right now. I don't see anyone above him or above Joe Pyfer that I think I would favor like him against. And I wouldn't even necessarily favor him against Pyfer. I'm just saying like in a couple of years, like I could see him, getting to like about the seventh ranked guy. Um, because I think that like all the guys above him, I just see this like being really problematic or really big for him in there. Like Bohio, a big boy. Drake is a big boy. Like Hamza, a big boy. Even Fluffy, like I don't love his chances in that matchup against Fluffy. So like I don't know. I just think that like maybe seventh ranked guy is about where I see him peaking out at right now.
it's a tough one, but I would say title contender. I think Bo Nigel just does have very good wrestling. He has the background. Champion for like all 4 years, I want to say. And I feel like if he can put it all together, I don't see why he couldn't beat some of these guys of it. But he has a window, like you said. I think him coming in older is not gonna do him a service here. And he's going to have like a window like I think 3 years is perfect, like 33. I mean, he might even lose one of these coming up. But I do think the talent is there for sure. I think he'll be a title contender. But I mean, I, as of right now, I wouldn't say he would win, especially against, like you said, Ohio, DDP, I think are tough fights for him. Hamzat, if he wants to stay here, we'll see what happens. Uh, Definitely like Sean would be tough, I think.
Really tough. Clearly, really tough.
Uh, he could beat Brendan Allen though. We could all agree on that. The man, he sneaked his way to what was he, fourth? Well, he's beatable. Let's
Hey,
just
he
say,
just got a big dub, Clark. Put some respect.
yeah, 29-28 versus who? Oh, Edmund Shabazian. Oh, the man himself. Yeah, what a victory! But yeah, contender, I think.
For sure. No, I agree with you guys. I think he has some. I think he has a lot of potential still, but definitely some big holes in his game. All right, guys, let's go to lightweight here. Marcio Rufi, biggest favorite on the card, and he showed why. Absolutely melted Michael Chandler. Some vicious, punishing blows on the feet. Chandler just had nothing. I think Rufi was just too rangy, too bouncy. Chandler couldn't really get anything going. What you guys see out there?
I
Hey, can
mean,
I hit this one verse real quick?
crazy.
I mean, I never see like we knew Michael Chandler was older going into this, but I never seen the man just like be on the back foot so much and just not even throw his hand. Like I liked the wrestling strat, but then he decided let's not commit on any of these shots fully and just kind of let Rufi walk him down. Rufi, like I thought Chandler looked confused out there, didn't know what he wanted to throw. And he was just not seeing anything Rufy was coming back with. I think the speed, the age, eh, he clearly can't go through these wars anymore for sure. He's just getting hurt more and more in these fights now. And I thought the Patty fight was very telling how this one was gonna just get broken down. And Rufy, I mean, man looked amazing, pinpoint accuracy, just some hard punches in there. Two spinning heel kicks that landed flush, rocked him both times of them, and just like yeeted this man out of the arena. Like I thought that was like the most one-sided fight of the night. Like I don't know if Michael Chandler landed a punch out there for real. Maybe in the clinch when he was going for the takedowns, but at range, Rufy was just picking this man apart, and I like Michael Chandler, but it is time to hang it up here after what I just saw. Oh, he
Yeah.
landed three. He landed a total of three punches. Oh man.
Yeah, you kind of said it, Clark. Chandler did not look great here. I think that it was pretty much what I expected, to be honest. I did think he may do a little bit better than this, but I knew that like once Rufy starts to like put the hands on him, found his range, Chandler will be kind of fucked up. He clearly does not take damage as well as he once did. I mean, what fighter who's 40 plus and has been through the wars that Chandler has been through should be taking shots as well as they once did, you know? Um, I don't think that like that's the biggest reason that he was like getting pieced up, just durability. I think that like Ruby's also very technical, hits very hard. It just seemed like Chandler couldn't really find the range for anything. Rufy did good with his footwork, staying just out of range. Even the takedown attempts that you were talking about, he never really got to a leg because Rufy was always like so far away. He kind of just like would just grab like push on his arms and just kind of like smack it away. Kind of step back and just manage the takedowns way more with like his range than like anything he was doing with his body with like like grabbing him or anything like that. Um, really did what he needed to do to Michael Chandler in this spot. I mean, I feel bad for Chandler because he waited for that McGregor fight and he had to fight a young version of McGregor or like a fighter that fights similar to McGregor who's actually in his prime and actually fucked you up. You know what I mean? I still think it's dope that he got to fight on the White House card. A fighter with his UFC record, like if he wasn't so entertaining, like he never would have been here. So like that's a testament to who he is as a fighter and shit, and like the fact that he is a legend of the game. But yeah, I agree with you, Clark. It might be time to hang it up. I don't know what else he's here for if not just paychecks, because unless you want to just like make him fight like unranked guys, I think he's just completely be removed from the rankings and like fighting anyone in them, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't think he's like two Tony Ferguson levels because for as bad as like we're shitting on him and shit, like physically he doesn't look bad. In there. It's not like Ferguson or like even like Diaz, where like they look slow and kind of like very much not themselves. He kind of moves around and he's very athletic, springy still. Clearly, probably has power still. But I mean, so I think that like he still could probably beat like some people in the UFC, some like lower level guys. Like maybe throw him against like a King Green type and see what's up. You know what I mean? Like see where King Green is. That would be a massive win if he could get that win. You know what I mean? Like he needs to be fighting the Terrence McKinney's of the world. You know what I mean? Like just fun fights that like are pretty inconsequential at this point because I think that his days as a contender are long gone at this point.
yeah, I had a similar thought of that because I was thinking like, man, Chandler's just taking these brutal L's, but I was looking at the resume and his L's, they are the competition is brutal. Like his resume, it's killer's row, especially at his age, like you just said. But like, do I want if I'm Chandler, do I want to fight those lower level guys that you're saying, or I just hang it up? And I would lean to just hang it up. But yeah, if he does keep going, he can't stop giving him these crazy killers like Patty, Roofy. Like you got to give him some slack if he's going to keep going.
Unfortunately, like he is a big name and like the UFC is in the business of making new stars and like if you want to keep fighting, that's fine, but we're gonna keep like getting the most off of our dollar, you know? Like, how do we get the most out of Michael Chandler if I'm the UFC? Feeding him to young killers so like he's a name on their resume and like a name that people know, you know? People are gonna tune in to watch him fight and it'll probably look hella cool because he's probably gonna get knocked out, you know? You know what I mean? So it's like if he has enough money, I would, as a fan, want him to hang it up. But like, I mean, if he's still like enjoying what he does, bro, and they want to give him some fun fights, give him a Drew Dober, you know what I'm saying? A T-Rex, like, fuck it, bro. Like, I'm down for it. Like, just fun shit only, please. Like, no more young lions, please, UFC.
He'll probably just finish out his contract and then retire,
Yeah,
probably. I
probably.
don't know how many fights that is away. I'd assume it's closed by this point. But, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I was thinking if we're not retiring, Dariush is like right next to him in that combo. So
Facts.
that's a fair fight in the
They
rankings.
both need a fight like that.
Yes, I agree with that. I think that's a fight he can win, bro. I think he has more in the tank than Dariush right now. I do.
Close.
Um, really quickly with Roofy, I think this guy like I think he's ready for whatever in this division. Like you could throw him in there with a lot of guys. I'm proposing. Let's say I
Uh,
think Armin and Gaethje is going to happen, and then Patty and BSD is happening. How about some Brazilian on Brazilian action here? Roofy versus Oliveira for the BMF belt, if that's still a thing. I feel like that would be absolute fireworks. This guy, there's just something about him is the evolution over these last two fights. I know it's Chandler and Fazeev. It's not the biggest names, but it's an eye testing. I'm seeing a legit title contender here.
Oh no, Ed.
It's also a Volk thing, bro. Like he's training with Volk. Like
True.
if anyone's gonna get his grappling deficiency together, it's Volk, you know? And I think that like iron sharpens iron. Like that's probably good for Volk to, be in there with a dangerous young killer like him and like I'm sure he's like being a sponge. I kind of think that like some fighters do need to like branch off their camps and like if you realize like you are, in your current camp, like you have some deficiencies and like they're not serving you, I'm all for like as much as I love the fighting nerds, like and it's caused beef or friction or whatever, like ultimately, this shit an individual sport, and if you want to reach your potential, going to fucking train with Volk is not the worst way to do it, bro. When you have grappling deficiencies, bro. So like, I think that if he shores that shit up with Volk, like sky's the limit, man. I thought he was a dark horse already. I thought that he was like one of the more interesting opponents for Taporia. I think, but only behind Armin to me. I think after Armin, I think that he's like my second most likely person to like win the belt. I would even favor him against Gaethje, maybe even. Like, there's a good chance of that. Like, just stylistically, youth
Yeah.
wise, like, I could see it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that like sky's the limit for him. I do see him being a potential future champion, unless Armin gets on his wrestling shit and just like does that to everybody.
I agree, sky is the limit here. But who's a better wrestler, Oliveira or BSD? We saw what BSD did to that man. I'm just saying, like, I need to see him go against a good wrestler here. Like Vazeev and Michael Chandler, like, he- they're not going to be going for the takedowns like my boy's going for. So I would not love that matchup for him. I would rather see him versus Max, or
Really
even,
sick fight.
or even like, well, yeah, I guess Max fighting Connor, but the winner or loser maybe of that would be kind of cool.
I don't
But
know. I want to see him fight like a older I don't want to see Connor fight a young version of himself.
I would love that, dude. And I'm so like addicted to the
Oh,
whole McGregor versus a Brazilian thing. Like I just love that.
yeah, but I would say if Connor was the winner, they'd probably give him the title shot. But
especially against Gaethje, bro, like another fucker of like his age range that he never fought. Like fuck
For
it.
sure.
it's
I
like,
can't believe that fight's never happened, by the way.
I know, right? He's Connor's been fucking off. That's why.
yeah,
And
just
obviously the injury, but more so before that he was fucking off.
Like since high school, I've been waiting for Gaethje versus McGregor to happen.
Right? I've been like prognosticating that Connor were gonna slumpy dump his ass for years, and now like I don't even know anymore. How much can change in a couple years in this sport, you know?
Right, the best. Let's move up to heavyweight here.
oh
Late
god.
edition. Josh Hockett knocks out Derek Lewis in the second round. Um, pretty. I mean, what did you guys think about this fight? Pretty impressive performance by Hockett. I think we all picked him to win here. Kind of what we all said would happen happened. He got tagged a bunch and kind of just. I don't want to say gave up, but he just couldn't take anymore. How impressive was Hockett here? That's two big wins in like 2 months or something like that. What would you guys think?
I mean, I think that we all expected the fight to go that way. I thought it was pretty like savage, like at the press conference and shit, like at the face-offs. Like Haka was yelling at Lewis, like, "Hey, you quit last time in your last fight. Like, don't fucking quit in there. Like, don't take my glory from me. Like, don't fucking quit in there. I'll find you in the parking lot." Like, he was basically like saying like he wants Derek Lewis to actually like try his best to like survive and shit and have some grit. Don't just like turtle up like he does sometimes when he's like unmotivated. And to that point, I would say Derek Lewis definitely showed up and clearly came with a little more grit than we've seen him have in like recent years for real. I thought that like he had many of times that he could have just had like taken the easy out, taken the paycheck and went home, but he chose to stick in there, even on that armbar, even though it like wasn't like that tight or whatever. Like he could have easily just been like, "Fuck it, bro. This is an easy out." You know what I mean? Why do I want to keep getting in here? But he did. Um, Round two, he was actually like defending takedowns and like made it like a little interesting. Mixed it up on the feet for a couple seconds there. It was a couple of his fucking, Hail Mary bombs came like razor close to Hockett's fucking chin. And like, I was like, damn, Hackett really playing with fire, even though it's like it's raw, but like if you get fucking put down on the White House lawn, bro, and like your whole momentum is fucking killed by a aging black beast like that you should totally beat, it would be a bad look. So for the sport, as much of a Derek Lewis fan as I am, like it's better for the sport that Hackett won. It's better for the division. And I mean, shit, man. Like, shout out to D. Lou, but like, the train rolls on. The train rolls on. I get more points. We keep eating. The train rolls on. Title shot this year potentially. Fuck it. These fuckers are unreliable, bro. Well, Tom Aspinall has one more fucking time to say like his eye hurts, and Dane's gonna strip his ass.
Uh, I mean, I thought Moses' fight was one way track. Here's the thing with Delu. I love Delu, but the cardio is just not there to me. I think that's like usually why he has quit. I agree. I do think he bit more on the mouthpiece in this fight and didn't quit on himself. But like, just even in the second round when he was just getting hit with shots and like the body language was just not there. Early on in the fight, got taken down. Josh Hoggett, he had a full armbar for about 30 seconds that easily should have finished the fight if he knew how to finish it. And it was just like, man, like, I hate seeing the Black Beast this way. I just don't like it, honestly. He showed more grit, but like at the same time was still like Hoggett was just the much faster guy, just got to the point quicker, and obviously just more in their prime right now. And it was another tough one to watch. Hoggett gets the win somehow over 1.5, which I thought was crazy,
I couldn't believe it.
but D-Lu did like he started like he pressed a little bit. He almost like the adrenaline was gone after like a minute and a half into the round. Like it was over from there. I thought Hockett honestly could have pressed him even a little more. I get D-Lu can hit hard, but like the man was clearly very gassed, like super gassed.
Yeah, but the bombs were flying though. You can't act like the bombs were not flying.
Well, like I'm saying towards the end, like when it was like clearly he was just smacking him with 1-2s easy. Like I was like, okay, bro, like let's just like get in. Like Delu's powerful, but he was just completely gassed. Like there's no way he had enough mustard on anything. But it was a good win for Hoggett. He'll get a big fight next. Definitely up in the rankings, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you guys for the most part. There's just something about an MMA man watching Lewis and Chandler. It's just so sad. It's different than other sports, seeing like older guys age just because it's fighting. It's tough, but shout out D. Lou. All right, guys, real quick for Hockett here. I have three hypothetical names here. Volkov next, Pavlovich next, or Alex Pereira next. Do you guys like any of those names for Hockett, or is there someone else I didn't mention?
I think that he's been angling for the Poatan fight. Um and I think that if Alex decides he wants to stick around at heavyweight, why not run that fight?
Crazy beef.
I mean, either way, it's either another legendary chapter for Poatan or, a massive, massive win and instant jolt of star power for Rocket. Excuse me. So, I mean, I think that that's like a perfect matchup to run. I personally think that like I would chill off on that for a second. Um, Maybe even like run him versus Waldo would be decent. Uh,
Good one.
Pocket Waldo. Waldo coming off a loss, so I think that he deserves to, fight back in the rankings a little bit. If he wins, then like he's ranked number 4, and then he's like basically one more fight away from a title shot. I think that I also like would secondarily say Volkov. I think that that's a pretty favorable matchup. I think for him because Volkov can't stop a proper takedown for shit. And I think that Hockey can have a lot of success with the wrestling there. So yeah, those are the two matchups I would give him. But then worst case, like not worst case, but I mean like the Poatan thing will be fine too. But I think Waldo or Volkov just fits a little bit better. Build him up a little bit more.
I think money fight do Poatan, but I'm not sure if Poatan will even. He might move down again. I think he cut the weight. He was around 240 going down to 205, so I don't think it's impossible for him to go back down. So we'll see with that. I think Volkov's the easy fight. They're not going to give this man a title shot. He's just sitting around in the top five. I just say book him with Hockett. Hockett beats him, easy work. We're top two in the rankings here.
One thing I will say though,
He'd
uh,
be a top eliminator, I think, as well. Sorry.
no, you're good. One thing I will say though, I was just thinking about this. Hockett and Alex Pereira are two people that like should not be fighting at heavyweight, I would say necessarily. Um, I view Hockett as a blown up lightweight. I think he could even if he was really disciplined make middleweight probably. Like when he was in college and shit, like granted, like he, you naturally put on size as you age sometimes if you just, choose to. But like no, there's no way that he doesn't have enough body fat and shit on him to like easily cut down to 205, I think. So like I don't think that like the size advantage would be so crazy. Whereas I think for Cyril Gahn, like yeah, Alex Pereira outweighed him, but Gahn couldn't make 205 like I don't think at all based on like his muscle density and like how much body fat he has.
Hell no.
Like I don't think that there's any world like he is a naturally just bigger man. You know what I mean? Um, so I could see a world where like fighting Hockey at heavyweight isn't like fighting some big motherfucker to me. You know what I mean? Hockey is not really knocking people out with one shot anyway. It's more of like an accumulation cardio, you know, accumulation thing. So I think that even if he was gonna be like, even if he was kind of feeling like, man, maybe heavyweight, like these guys are a little too big for me. I still think Hockey fighting him at heavyweight is kind of like a still a middle ground there, where like you're only fighting someone that's like 230, 235, you know? He can probably cut down a little bit more weight and like maybe be like 245 in there, a little slimmer and like be okay.
All right, guys. Let's move up to this bantamweight fight here. Featured fight of the night. Sean O'Malley defeats Amin Zahabi. What was it? Second round T? Yeah, second round KO here. I'll start with this one. Look, we all picked O'Malley. Everyone picked O'Malley. Apparently, he was the most betted on fighter on like most of the drafting apps, but oh my God, Ayman Zahabi's game plan was god awful in my opinion. And even in the post-fight press interview, O'Malley said he did not understand Ayman Zahabi's game plan at all. He kept throwing the same exact leg kick like over and over and over again. I get it, leg kicking O'Malley, you're supposed to do that, but he kept throwing the same one. He would like shell up when he threw it. There was nothing behind any of them. He was throwing nothing with his hands, and O'Malley just kind of was saucing on him and caught him with a big shot. Epic celebration, epic emote win in front of the troops saluting. What did you guys think about the Sugar Show on Sunday?
I thought that the result was nice. Um I thought that Sean was playing it a little safe early on. And Zahabi was like landing those leg kicks, like for as much as you're like shitting on him for the leg kick plan, though they were landing. And I was seeing like them start to take a little bit of an effect on Sean's movement. He did start to like move a little gingerly and like really was like hyper aware on like making sure he not checked them, but like just moved his leg out of the way. Um, Granted, it's not that hard to focus on that when that's all Zahabi's fucking doing, but like I do think that they were clearly like causing some type of an issue, doing some kind of damage to Sean's legs. But yeah, besides that, like Zahabi offered basically nothing with the hands, barely any like even body kicks. Um, and it seemed like he was like out of range for like most of the night, I would say. Um, and once Sean started to like line him up, this wasn't a very high like output fight from Sean. Like, let me look at the strike numbers. I'm pretty sure he had landed under 30 strikes, it felt like.
That's
Uh,
41.
41. Okay, but like there wasn't a lot of strikes landed or thrown on his part, it felt like. But when he started to land, he really started to land on Tahabi. And I mean, it was over in short order once he started touching that chin, man. I do think that, like, everyone's been, debating was it, a good stoppage? Was it a good stoppage? Um, I think that when you consider the situation objectively, maybe if I'm Zahabi, I'm a little upset. I don't think it was gonna get any better for him. And considering the situation, like I know that the UFC wanted to give him a moment, probably like they don't care about Zahabi agendas, you know what I mean? Like let's be honest, like it's unfortunate, but like in a coin flip situation, like Sean's gonna get that nod on that stoppage every time, especially because it looked cool as fuck. He did that fucking salute. I wish they would have got it in frame more. I felt like on no replay did I see it like perfectly in frame, besides on like Twitter and shit from like fan angles, which was kind of ridiculous. But fucking sick on O'Malley's part. I think he's right there for a title shot, and I'm here to see it, man. The Sugar Show is back on track as long as he can avoid Marab.
I thought Sean looked good. Uh, Main reason he won here, I thought the leg kicks were nice, but we're not putting any hands together in this fight, and we're just backing up. Like he would go in, throw a hard leg kick, guard up, and just back up the entire time. Where Sean was just kind of tracking him down the entire time and like landing clean body work, clearly jabbing him up. Like, I wish Sean threw a little more like body kicks. Like, I remember he threw like he used to throw like a nice teep kick and like spinning body kick. I do need to see Sean be a little more creative like he was like going towards a title or even in the Cheeto fight. Like he lit Cheeto up the whole time with combos. But I still felt like he was just way better than Zahabi in the striking. Like it wasn't very close to me the entire time. You know, I just think a bunch of leg kicks are not gonna win you a fight, and I thought Sean was like cruising. Like at least he would have been up 2-0. I don't think Zahabi was very much in there in the scoring department. And Sean just ended up clipping him, dropped him a little bit, and then Zahabi just fell right into a precise right hand. I thought it was a good salvage personally after I saw Zahabi like stumble over right away. Like I thought it was good enough, honestly, based on how he reacted. But maybe it was a little early. I still think one more follow-up shot, it still would have been over. So like, and just give him the finish. It was a cool moment. The salute was pretty sick. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, Zahabi, tough L for him, but he was just on a nice win streak. He'll be okay. I think he'll still linger in the top 10, 15. For O'Malley, yeah, I think it's either title shot or Umar next. One of those two. And yeah, O'Malley's back on track. Great win for him. First knockout since the Aljo dub. Huge dub at the White House.
You think that they're ever gonna make him fight Sanhagen or no? You think Sanhagen's just like fucked for that fight?
Fuck. If like if one of them gets the belt for sure. But yeah, I forgot about Sanhagen. You got to get past Bautista. I'm still very interested in that fight against O'Malley and Sanhagen. Still, but to answer your question, we need to see that fight as fans still. We're still that's still a bantamweight fight we're owed, I feel like.
I do think that like Sanhagen's getting closer to like falling off a little bit, like of his prime, and like I think that like if you make it in the next year, it's still pretty cool, like a still good matchup. But I don't want to see, maybe Bautista he goes to another war, and then like Sean clips him easy, goes that like you know what I mean. I just want to see that fight before it's too late to do it proper, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, we need that one. All right, guys, let's move to the co-main event. The MMA community is absolutely devastated. Their hero got knocked out. Cyril Gane knocks out Alex Poetan Pereira in the second round. Uber impressive performance by Gane. Just looked like the more natural heavyweight out there. He was moving really well. Just I think his speed was the name of the game from him. It was just too much for Pereira. People are saying Pereira came in too heavy. Maybe that was to his detriment. What did you guys see out there from Gane and heavyweight Alex Pereira?
You can start, Clark.
I think he showed he could beat Francis Ngannou in a rematch if they fought.
That's the first thing.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh my Lord. Like the fact he just went at him the way he did, like gave him no space, out kickboxing him the entire time. I thought it was a masterclass performance. I thought Peña landed some nice quick head kicks, but outside of that, I thought had no answers for the hands. I think he was a little stiff, and I think maybe the weight had to do with that because he was seeing none of these jabs coming right down the middle, and like I thought Gane pieced him up a lot of the fight, to be honest. I think, and then he gets the big knockdown in the second round with the jab. And then it was basically over from there. Peña showed a little grit for sure, got back up, but just he got teed off even more on. Can't blame him though. I mean, it was very much a toss-up fight. Peña's going up 3 weight classes now. I mean, you got a dream to go big, but I think this just shows Gane like I think that's the best Gane I've ever seen, honestly. He was like whooping some ass out there. And I'd be worried if I was Tom right now. That's all I would say. I think he easily could be the best heavyweight in the world right now.
The champ has a name, and his name is Gable, but that's a little preview for later. But at the end of the day, this is about Gone right now. He looked amazing. Um, I think that you have to be happy for the guy. He's come up short so many times, and while a lot of people, even like me, have questioned his dedication to the game, at times it has kind of seemed like fighting just wasn't always the most important thing to him. Wanted to be it seemed like he wanted to do movies and become more of a bigger star, than actually like grow his ground game and like actually fix his holes. And like John Jones subbing him as easily as he did, kind of like added more fuel to those narratives. You know what I mean? But I think he's proven like no, that's just John Jones. Um, Maybe he got a little aura spooked in there. John Jones plus like John Jones a fiendish grappler and like I think he was just a little shell shocked. But ever since then, like he could have just like let that shit just derail his whole career like Dominic Reyes. But instead he fucking picked himself up. Clearly is out here making improvements. Um he did like shamelessly squeak by Volkov in a fight that I did think he probably should have lost. But he's making the best of like the opportunity that the UFC judges gave him by making him win that fight. And he's going on a tear, man. I do think that this is the best gown we've ever seen. I do think that he gives Tom Aspinall fits again, and if he can just keep his fucking fingers to himself, and stop fucking cheating for once. Like
Mm.
he definitely can be the champion of this division, albeit short lived because, like I said, Gable coming and there's nothing he can do against that level of wrestling and that level of athlete. Like an athlete like him on the wrestling side, younger, tall by John Jones, he's fucked. But until that point, he can keep dancing around on these other guys and doing his thing. So, shout outs to him. Uh, I did think that like there was a lot of illegal fucking blows to the back of the head. I don't know if you guys seen those narratives, but he was definitely elbowing and punching Pereira right in the back of the
It was the side of the head. It was like
several
right
times,
here. It
like
was right
several
here.
times. And I know you've
Right
seen it. Don't
here.
act like you didn't.
No,
I was
there's a meme going around. It's like once Gon has you hurt, he just hits you in the back of the fucking head. Like a punch.
I mean, look, the Tuivasa one was very blatant, but this one was clearly like, bro, it was like back here. It was like right behind the ear. I don't think it was back
He's
there.
an evil Frenchman, Clark.
he's a skeevy fuck, Clark.
Hey, to be honest, hey, fair game.
I fuck with him. They always say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But and he
Fair
clearly keeps
game.
getting away with it. But I feel like on my Jesse Pinkman shit, like he can't keep getting away with this. Like he was definitely hoeing my man's Alex with his fucking illegal blows to the back of the head. And like tell me why like I watched like
I don't
on
think they're
TikTok or
back.
something. I seen like Aspinall reaction to the win. He was like, dirty, dirty, mate.
Yeah,
Back of the head,
he was
shot to the
pissed. I
back of the
saw that.
head. Like it's just he's just gonna keep running with these narratives, man. If he's so dirty, get in there and fucking beat him up then.
But
I honestly thought he got the back like right behind the ear personally, but I mean, what is he supposed to do? Not just hammer on the side of the head where the temple kind of is? Like,
I,
I
I get it.
I mean,
don't know.
he had to do what he had to do, you know. Like
The
you
man
don't
was already hurt. Like he was just
right,
getting, he was going for it.
right.
And we've seen Pereira lose, but like we've either seen him just kind of get caught by a knockout by Izzy or just kind of smudged by Ank. He got styled on a little bit here. And he got viciously KO'd. Gon is scary, man. And I think he's like an oddly really bad matchup for Hokit, who's obviously the big hot up and comer right now. Hokit praises him a lot in interviews about Gon's athleticism and all that. And yeah, I mean the next fight it's versus Tom Aspinall. It should be in France. I think that'd be fucking sick. Defendant home soil, Euro versus Euro battle. But let's talk about what's next for Pereira. A little more confusing here. There's three options. He stays at heavyweight. He can fight Hoke at whatever. He can move back down. He just get a title shot instantly. That's his division 205 if you wanted. Or he could retire. You know, he is older. This was kind of his hoorah for that third title going for history. Came up short, but it's all good. What do you guys think's next for Poetan?
I honestly don't see him retiring, bro. I just kind of think that he's one of those guys. Like this is just what he does and who he is. You know what I mean? Like he has a warrior spirit, and it's not like he's on some kind of fat skid. Like you just lost to one of the most athletic heavyweights in the world. You vacated your division because they weren't fucking with you. You absolutely just mowed down Uncle Ankalaev, who was like, you know, the other only guy to beat you in recent memory, and that was basically by just like smotherfucking you, holding you really. It wasn't like a loss where like he was taking a lot of damage. He doesn't take a lot of damage. Um, he has been through a lot of wars, but like fight to fight, it's not like he's just getting his ass whipped and like he clearly needs to retire. And like I also think that he's not a fighter that like gives that much of a fuck about the belts at this point. Like, yes, wants to make history and like be great and all that, but he's a fighter that takes losses very well. He understands it's a part of the game. He even I think like told his father or something like that. I seen a quote the other day and it was like he told his father like if you're gonna be sad, like don't come to my fights if you're gonna like act this way like when I lose, like cause like I've made a lot of other people's like nights be fucked up. So when it's my turn, it's just my turn, you know? And that's the kind of mentality that like if you don't so much attach yourself to the wins and losses in your career, and you don't like buy your own hype and buy your own Kool-Aid, and you just focus on like yourself as a martial artist, and like sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. I've achieved great things. Like sometimes it's not going to be my night. When you take that approach to the game, um, I think that you can bounce back from losses, and it doesn't have to affect your mentality. And I think that that's where we're at with Alex. So I would like to see him get back in there. Even at a heavyweight, I would like to see him lose a little bit of weight, but like I still think that like just because Cyril Gane pieced him up, that's not indicative of like how every heavyweight's gonna do him. Just because like not every heavyweight is Cyril Gane, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, I think the Hogan fight makes a lot of sense if he's gonna stay up at heavyweight. But if that's not the fight, I just can't imagine him like fighting Pavlovich or Volkov really. He's in a weird spot where I think he has enough time to go back down to fight Olberg for the title. If that's what he wanted to do, I'd be all here for it. Uh, I don't think he'll retire. I think he'll fight. Didn't he just sign like a big deal?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
8 fights.
we made
Yeah,
a video about that. Shout out.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, he's gonna keep fighting, so I think he could go either way here on it. I mean, I think he could cut the weight. He was probably walking around 240 anyways. But like, I would agree. I think you should just cut. Hockett weighs like 231. Like, Petty could cut to that at least.
What would you guys prefer as fans?
I would prefer to see him just keep fighting heavyweights, whether it's for titles or not. Like, just fight them and like just be interesting. You know what I mean? Fun matchups. I
I
I
really, yeah, I agree.
I still think that he would fuck up most of the light heavyweights, and if he were to lose, I would just think it's more because he's washed anyway. I'd be like, oh well, if he was in his prime a couple years ago, he would have fucked him up. So you know what I mean? Whereas like at heavyweight, even if he's losing, it's like it gives it a little bit more like he is like really going up in weight and like really like pushing himself. So like the losses don't kind of hurt as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to see him kind of settle into heavyweight a bit more and finish his career here. And yeah, the more we touch on in the video, I'd like to see this Hogan fight. All right, guys. Let's finish off the video here talking about the main event. Arguably one of the biggest upsets, at least on paper, recent UFC history. Justin Gaethje finally captures undisputed gold at lightweight after holding the interim belt two times. Just one of the maybe the most exciting guy in the history of the sport. Just took out Ilya Topuria, probably number two on everyone's pound for pound list. It was a bloody war. Ilya did have his moments, almost finished Justin Gaethje with body shots, but Justin did the unbelievable here. Talk to me, guys, about Justin winning the belt.
Insane work, man. Insane work. An amazing night for America. A amazing night for probably the books. I'm sure that they fucking cleaned up. Everyone's parlay got busted damn near. I know mine did. Lost a couple $100, but I couldn't help but smile at the end of the night, man. Gaethje has worked so hard for this shit, and much like Poirier, like when it came down to it, there was always just a better man, you know? Um, whether it's Khabib for Gaethje or Charles for Gaethje, there was always a better man, and at an even older age, a little bit less quote unquote in his prime on paper, um, and against one of the most dangerous knockout artists that the game has to offer. Um, the stage was set for him to get violently chinned on the White House lawn. Um, and many of us, myself included, assumed that at some point that would happen. And to be in as much danger as he was in, I thought that the the fight felt like a WWE match, bro. Like it was a whole storyline, you know? I felt like Ilya became a victim of his own head. Like he bought his own he drank his own Kool-Aid a little bit too much. It seemed like he, from the opening bell, marched right across the cage and just tried to slump Justin Gaethje, really to try to prove what he's been saying and like all the shit he's been talking, back it up. And the fight kind of played out exactly how Gaethje kind of predicted it would. He's like, yeah, he's gonna be hell in round one, but what's he gonna think like when I'm still there in round two? What's he gonna think when round two ends and like I'm still there? Rounds three, four, five, like what's then we're gonna see what's up. And Gage and Ilya was so adamantly like, no, no, like that's never gonna happen. There's never gonna be a round three. There's never gonna even be a round two, talking all that shit, and exactly the fight played out exactly how he predicted. Through two rounds, Ilya was whooping Gaethje's ass. Like, granted, like Gaethje was having success here or there. He was like really landing the jab a lot and hitting him with like a lot of like straight rights to the fucking face. And I think that that's like in large part just because like Ilya kind of just like put his guard up and kind of was just trying to march into range to try to like get into the blend with him. Um, but and even at the end of round two, like for the second whole half of the round two, like the body work Ilya was doing, he was backing Gaethje up, rocking him, like had him overly hurt, dropped him with the body shots. Gaethje looked almost cooked. We go into the grappling. It looks like Gaethje's gonna get subbed. He's kind of like laying there recovering from his liver shot, like not really moving very much. And I mean, maybe it was a little bit of poor IQ, but in the moment, I can't fault him for just going into grapple mode when he thinks that he can get the sub. He doesn't end up getting the sub, and like I just think that that kind of one demoralized him, and two, I think that in chasing that finish, he probably let out a lot of energy. He threw a lot of combinations, and even though he's always known for throwing combinations, like it's something to be said for like when you give someone your best shot and they take it, and you're not used to that. The one thing in Ilya's run is, for the most part, people have not been able to withstand his power or take what he's dishing out. He's been the hammer for most of his career, basically his whole career. And it's like you have to kind of like to learn about yourself for real, you have to be the nail sometimes because things are not gonna always be going your way. And I think that even though he lost, I thought that he showed a lot of adversity here. I mean a lot through adversity here. He fought back when I thought it looked like he was quitting on himself. Granted, he got like a little extra minute when they were checking his eye and shit. But even after that, even though he got a little bit of an extra break, like he did come out in round four fighting like crazy. He started to like take momentum of the fight back. Like he clearly wasn't quitting on himself, even though he ended up quitting on himself, on the stool. I think that like he did show that like even when shit's not going his way, he will still try to like keep fighting in there. So I was impressed with like the grit he showed, considering the beating he was taking. I'm pretty sure he like had a broken orbital. Like it hasn't been confirmed yet, but like it looked like it to me. And like the way he was like I can't see and shit, like that's broken orbital shit. And the way he was like kind of like pulling at his eye, like even when he wasn't getting hit, it just kind of like all signs of like some significant damage being done. So if he did break his orbital like early in the fight and fight that long, like that is great, and like I am like proud of him for that. And he is still young. Hopefully, like this damage doesn't like permanently change him. But my bigger fear than like the damage changing him is kind of what I was talking about with the Poatan thing a second ago. Ilya very much has, talked about how he's gonna be the GOAT and he's gonna do all these great things. And if I'm not mistaken, he already had a tattoo with Justin Gaethje's name crossed out. He had his Instagram bio 18-0 already. Like he was basically like completely looking past Gaethje and like buying his own Kool-Aid and like I really wonder how he's gonna come back from like it's kind of like the McGregor effect, you know? When you talk that much shit, like and you lose and you get humbled, like how are you gonna come back? And you know, for McGregor, he came back from that Diaz humbling loss. He came back better than ever, locked in. It made him lock in, and you know, he went on to achieve new heights. And I think that Ilya has all the potential in the world to like become better from this fight. He's still only like 29, which like he's in his prime, but like he still has a couple years left to like grow and shit. Like it's not like he needs to be a finished product. He still has room for improvement. And sometimes you just don't know anything about.
I was stunned by what I was seeing out there. It was really like I've been hearing the saying the miracle on ice. It really was that kind of upset because there's no way in my mind going into this the striker of Taporia's caliber would just begin like decently pieced up in there. I'm not gonna lie. Like I felt like Gaethje, he was just doing some nice creative things at times with kind of a snap down headlock, just a little bit of uppercuts. I thought those were the biggest weapons. I thought were the uppercuts and jabs. Like really getting to Deporia, just swelling him up. And like Deporia was definitely doing good work too. Like he was booming him at times in the beginning of the fight. And even that second round, like all that body work, it was just vicious, bro. Like I think Taporia is still here. It's just like Gaethje, he's just used to these wars. And like we were saying, like we hadn't seen Taporia in any adversity. And even though I thought he did decent with it, it was really just his own injuries that were just affecting him, and he couldn't make it through. It was a great win by Gaethje, career defining. Finally gets his title that's eluded him really his whole career, and now can get bigger fights, more money. I mean, he had him made like close to like 2 mil on this fight, I would
Probably.
maybe
Um,
more. Like he made 800K just all bonuses.
Right.
So like, I mean, man, it was an epic performance by him. I thought Taboria fought well, but clearly just was like a little more gassed after the second. And once he started backing up, I was like, this is no good. Gaethje is used to this stuff, even though I felt like he was huffing and puffing at times too. And I don't know how he does in some of these other matches, especially against a bad man like Oliveira. I would love to see that. But I can't take it away from him. It's a great win. I don't know what y'all had it scored, but I had it 3-1 personally going into the fifth. I could hear 2-2 though. I think that's possible.
yeah, 3-1-2-2.
Would you have it though, Ed?
I had 3-1 Gaethje.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was more 2-2 just because like narrative wise, I did not think that they were gonna overly just give the fight to Gaethje if it was close, you know what I mean? I thought that to win the fight he was gonna have to win it definitively, and I kind of like lean even though I thought that like Gaethje was probably winning the fight in my mind, I kind of lean on like some like to be the champ you have to beat the champ, you know what I mean? Like kind of definitively. Like if it's a close ass round, there would rather the fight I think be 2-2 than like, you know, sway a early round for Gaethje and like make Ilya lose the title off that. So I
What
kind
would
of
you have it, Nick?
also had it 2-2.
I said I had a 3-1. I thought this like early swing, I thought the first was very close, but I thought the more the fight went, Gaethje or Tabori just kind of gassed more, and like I thought Gaethje was just putting more numbers together. I think if Taporia would have held the takedown at the end of four, I would have gave him that round 2-2. But Gaethje got back up instantly and kind of did work. It just felt like Tabori was fading slowly throughout, and you know, Gaethje defying these odds, man. I'll be honest, I did not give him much of a chance in the last two at all. So it's a cool win, big upset. I think it's the I don't know about the biggest ever because I still feel like Pena versus Nunez was like a miracle for her, to be honest. So
Good shout.
I think it's up there though because of the magnitude of the moment. Taporia undefeated, first loss, looked invincible really, like coming into this. And out of all the lightweights, I just didn't really think Gaethje would be the one to kind of I don't know about expose him, but just like beat him. Like even in a war scenario, I also thought Taporia showed some of the worst defense I've ever seen him fight with. Just running into jabs. Like
I was gonna say, did you guys see anything get exposed from Ilya's game plan, or just game in general? Anything to worry you guys,
I
or did he
mean,
just lose to Gaethje?
I
You know,
mean, I think that like he kind of one ate some. He got damaged a lot more early than I think that he needed to by kind of like marching across the cage and just kind of like recklessly pursuing Gaethje early. I thought that it was like opening him up a lot more than he usually would uh be vulnerable to, I guess, if that makes sense. Like he was more vulnerable to shots early on in the fight. He kind of got pieced up a little bit unnecessarily in my mind. I thought that he was really just trying to disrespect Gaethje and like march him down and like just really just deliver on what he's been talking about how he, all the shit he's been talking about, how he's just gonna march him down, knock him out. Gaethje's no problem. Like, I think he really just tried to like make that how the fight played out, and it kind of worked to his detriment because Gaethje was popping his ass like, and I thought that even though maybe you can give Ilya the round because like he was like on the front foot a lot and he was landing a lot as well, but like it did give Gaethje confidence and like I don't know, man. It kind of seemed like a little bit of a reckless game plan more than he usually fights with. I think that he could easily like nothing about like how he was getting hit told me like, oh, he's just not technical. You know what I mean? It was way more like he's just kind of throwing a guard up and kind of like just trying to get into like close range where he can like rip hooks basically and try to like find the chin and I think that he has a much more efficient game plan in him if he were to like try to use it. Like if they were to fight five times, I do think that Ilya would win three of them, even based on what I've seen. If they had to run it back a couple times, like
I don't
I
hate that.
don't think that this fight is indicative of how this matchup will just go every time. You know what I mean? I just think that like when you, like I said, when you're so used to hitting people and like them reacting a certain way and like quitting and going down. And then you think Gaethje's hurt, you go all out in the grappling and in the striking, and he still survives. And like he's somehow like still fucking marching you down and hitting you in the face. Like I think that like a lot of young fighters, you see it, a lot of young fighters usually it just happens to fighters like earlier in their career before they're actually at the highest, level of the sport. And unfortunately for him, but unfortunately now, it sucks that he's never had to face that kind of adversity to learn how to like get through these moments or to learn to like not blow his low so early, you know? But I
Yeah,
think that overall he will be better for it. And I think that with a little bit of uh energy management and maybe adrenaline management, he could win this fight like no problem. Like not no problem, obviously, but like he could win this fight without like changing that much about his game.
I I agree. I thought he just like he really just thought he was going to knock him out and was just running into shots to give one. But it was like Gaethje was just so active early and like clearly like giving him some bruises and like his eye was already starting to go a little. It's like at that point, I thought the second round he did much better with that. I thought there were more feints out there. Like I've seen Taporia walk people down, but he's usually just better distance control. I felt like it was more of an off day for him, even though I still thought he looked decent. This was not the same dude who fought in the Max fight or the Volt fight. Like way more measured to me. Um, he was just really going out there just to like get this KO, and unfortunately, probably. And also, I do think he was throwing a lot into those body shots and like clearly like over swinging like crazy. I think it's a good lesson he'll learn. Like, you don't gotta like overswing every time, especially with his power. So, like, just little tap tap, man. I never saw Connor fucking overswinging ever. He would just tap people and they'd go down. So, I think Taporia just he'll be back fine. I think honestly I can see him moving back down now though, but
I've heard some people say that.
it's
I
a
don't
I
know.
think it's fine.
I don't know how I feel about that.
He
I
didn't
don't
have to
think
fight.
that's the move, bro. Running away from the grind is not it, bro.
Yeah, you got to pick a division. Like,
Well, I mean, he just lost to 37-year-old Gaethje, like 3-1. Like,
But so did Patty. So did like all.
yeah, yeah,
So did all
true.
the other like prospects. Really, Gaethje and Poirier have been turning away prospects for years. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like as much as we thought like Ilya was on this level, I do think that like Gaethje has been showing and Poirier, I would say like they're like 1A, 1B, in terms of like I mean now like I think Gaethje kind of really claims the higher,
He's probably higher all time now.
yeah, right. But I think just because of this one, you know what I mean?
Got
Like
undisputed
to this point, like they've been the guys that like they haven't beat the Islams and Khabibs of the world or Charles, but like anyone else, like they've been turning away prospects like Fiziev. Like we don't even look at Fiziev the same way anymore because of how Gaethje did him the first time that they fought. You know what I mean? It's like these guys turning away prospects. That's what they do, and like
for sure.
sometimes these young kids need a veteran lesson. A old man ass whooping.
Yeah, and yeah, Gaethje just is the one to hand him out. He literally said in the post fight he's built for this. He is the most like MMA guy ever. So shout out to him getting the real one. All right, really quickly, guys. Obviously, if Ilya won here, Armin's next. Like, there's no question. But now that Justin gets this crazy upset, is he for sure next? Is there a rematch? What's next for each guy? Give me a answer for each guy.
I think that first of all, I think that Dana said that he wants Ilya to rest, and I think after the beating he took, this is the kind of that is the kind of beating that like necessitates you not getting an immediate rematch, even as good as he's been. Um, he's gonna have to like chill out for like a year probably, or like at least like 8 months or so. And Gaethje seemed fine, and he's old, so like he needs to kind of be more active.
Yeah.
Um, in the meantime, I think that Armin has done a great job with his RIF wrestling matches and shit to like really boost his own popularity and his own name. Like the little RAF brawls and shit like shit on social media to go viral. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's been like training boxing with Adrian Broner and shit.
Yeah,
Like
he's streaming and all that
he's
with
been
like big
streaming and
streamers.
shit, and like I'm just saying, like he's been doing a lot to like make his name like extend outside of the realm of UFC fans. And I think that that's the kind of exact marketing shit that like would make him, more likable in the eyes of the UFC, get him out the doghouse a little bit. Um, and I think that like you can't deny him the shot. I think that to skip him over again would be bogus as fuck. Especially if you're not gonna offer him like fights in the meantime to like earn his way. Like, you know what I mean? Clearly if he's this active, he's not injured, and it's just the UFC like not booking him. So like
He deserves
now
it.
there's no excuse. And I think that honestly, I do think that he would beat Gaethje with grappling. So like it might be his time, bro. It might be his time.
I mean, on paper, Armin definitely deserves it. He should get it. But we all know Mr. Dana White doesn't like
His favorite fighter.
skip out on these UFC main events. And I just have a feeling again here. I don't know if he'll be skipped over, but you better believe if Conor McGregor next month knocks out Max Holloway, he's getting that title shot.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell
He's
yeah.
passing over like easy. I don't even think that's a question.
That'd be so funny.
100%.
Yeah, and I feel like it makes sense to run him and Oliveira. Like I think he'd be down. I don't know what they'll do for the BMF belt, honestly, but they can run it for that and just like cool wrestling and whatnot. I mean, I know fans aren't gonna like it, but it's kind of the fight to make. Arman on paper deserves it, but if Conor McGregor gets that KO, he will be fighting for the title, no doubt. I don't think there's a question on that.
And honestly, I think it's fair, man, because I mean, like both Conor McGregor and Justin Gaethje are like at the finish line of their careers.
Yeah, fuck it. Like,
So I mean, like Armin has fucking time. Like fuck you. Like get in line, bro. You have to wait. It's Conor, bro. Sorry. I'm
go do
sorry.
more RAF.
Sorry, not sorry. Go do more rap fights, bro.
Go wrestle Tony Ferguson.
Go wrestle Tony Ferguson and fucking Wee Man in the same night, bro. Why not, bro? Like why not? Go fuck around with Jordan Burroughs, bro. Like lose a RAF match for once. Like fuck it. Like it's okay. Like you can do other shit, side quests, stream. Like you're young, bro.
McGregor's here.
It's McGregor's here, bro, and Connor would let them all know on the mic too, and they'd be lit. It,
And then for Ilya, I want to see Ilya and McGregor so bad somehow. I don't know how it would make sense, but like I just would love that fight.
I don't want to see it unless he comes out and looks great against Max somehow. Then it's fine.
Or I would love to see Ilya versus Patty if he beats BSD.
I mean, they're both coming off a loss to the same guy. Like, fuck it.
He just got yeah, he's booked for next month, so
I know.
we'll
I'm
see.
saying if he beats BSD, like, why not like run that matchup in the meantime,
They got crazy beef too, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's also good.
All right, well, that concludes the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please go check out the TikTok. We got a plenty of stuff on there. We're gonna have a bunch of videos about the White House, like other topics coming up. So there'll be plenty more on that. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Leave a like, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.